Because if I'm looking at the Premier League top scorers for Everton throughout the history of the club in the competition, Romelu Lukaku is still leading the charts. He got 25 goals in the 2016-27 season. He's also second on the list with 18 in 2015-2016. And then it's Andrei Kanchelskis. We're going way back to the 90s. Tony Cottee, today, we saw Calvert-Lewin match Tony Cottee's record of 16 Premier League goals in a single season. He might break it with the remaining few games. He might match Lukaku's 18. Don't think he'll hit 25 this campaign. But is he the striker Everton have been missing ever since Lukaku left the club? Victor?
I think so. You know, and the funniest thing about that, about him having 16 goals, you know, he's missed quite a few as well. If you speak to Everton fans, some of them are still unsure, and I'm always like, how are you still unsure? He's got 16 goals in the Premier League, and he does miss a couple of chances, but he scored 16, and I really like him. He's, you know, he's powerful. He doesn't really miss that many games, you know, unless, you know, he's got a bad injury or stuff. But he always wants to play. You could see, you know, he had a bit of a back problem, but, you know, I knew he'll be fine. So he's always there. He's ever present in the game, in the box. You know, he's always a threat. It's hard to catch Lukaku because he's such a good goal scorer. But, you know, Dominic's done really, really well. And, you know, he's missed some chances this season. You know, and if he's going to only improve, he's still young, you know, and, you know, he's got a really bright future. He's playing for England as well. So he's a really, really good player.
It's hard to think of a more important position than a goal scorer, Matt. It's that position. It's why we watch football. And to have one on the books,
exactly.
It's special.
Exactly. I was going to say, for the way that Everton play as well, with, you know, having that lone sort of striker, he does it perfectly. You know, he runs the channel. He can hold the ball up. He's great in the air. You know, and he scores goals. Yes, you know, he will still improve. If you look at the last few seasons, he's getting better and better, and that's only going to help him when he's in international duty and playing week in, week out with better players as well. It's only going to be a benefit for Everton. And as you say, 16 goals. You know, for him, hopefully he gets a few more at the end of the season. But he's such a handful. You know, he can run in behind. He can hold the ball up. He can score different types of goals, which for a defender must be a nightmare. So, you know, he's really one that Everton need to hold on to.
Yeah,
I watched an interview. I watched an interview with him I can't remember last time I was on this, a couple of weeks ago, and it's so interesting because if you look at him last season and stuff, he's not always in the middle of the box. And then he just said that he switched just a little part of his game. Ancelotti helped him, Duncan Ferguson helped him, and you can see now, maybe not today because he made the run to score, but he's always in the middle of the goal. He's always just ready. He doesn't really try and interfere too much and all these other things, and that's how he's got, you know, those 16 goals and, you know, some of the goals in cup competitions, which is, you know, it's really, really interesting, and he's only going to improve. But it's just those small details that, you know, I listened to him and I spoke to him. I think I spoke a couple of weeks ago on Instagram or something. And, you know, just those small changes, and, you know, he's really in the goals now, because if you're always outside the box, like Antonio was a little bit today, chances don't really fall to you, you know, and I was quite bad at that as well. But, yeah, he's staying in between the posts, and that's where, you know, he gets his goals.
Because I was just about to ask you, he really came to life when Duncan Ferguson became the interim manager until Carlo Ancelotti came on board. Now, 7 of his 16 goals, this is Calvert-Lewin, this season, have been headers. The only Everton player to score 8 or more headed goals in a single Premier League season, you can probably guess whose name I'm about to say, is Duncan Ferguson. How much of a role do you think Duncan Ferguson has had, not just in his positional sense, but heading ability? Because I think of Everton, I think of some good headers of the ball. Tim Cahill would be the other name that springs to mind.
Yeah, I think Duncan, he'll take him behind. You know, you can see, if you look at some of the games when Dominic is in those positions or he scores, Duncan Ferguson's always the first one up, because you can see that they've probably worked on it during the week. And what we see on the pitch, or the results that we see, is, you know, it's from training, it's from hard work. It doesn't just happen. So sometimes when he does do good things, I'll look over and see what Duncan Ferguson's reaction is, and you can see that, you know, just how happy he is, because he's getting joy from, you know, teaching him and Dominic's proven, you know, what Duncan's teaching him as well, and he's showing the results. But I just look at Dominic now, and he, you know, before he was a bit weaker. He didn't really hold the ball up that well, but now he's changed. You know, his whole game's changed. He's strong. You know, he holds the ball up well, and then he just runs in the box. You know, before he might hold the ball up and, you know, just wait and admire that, you know, he may hold it up and pass it out. But, you know, now he's holding it up, passing it, and then he's sprinting in the box, and that's the change that I see with him. And that's only come from Carlo. It's only come from, you know, Duncan Ferguson. You know, and credit to the whole Everton organisation for, you know, those small changes in his game.